Yeah, it didn't move us.
Did it ask your consent yet? All right, cool. Sweet, sweet. We will meet seated back in our chair. And then, woo, as you just fall into it, we're just getting into it right away. From your seat, we'll scoot forward towards the edge, let those sits bones catch if that feels good. What we're looking for is a nice, secure posture where maybe the pads of our feet are planted. Maybe our sits bones feel nice and secure, and we can create space for our tummy here. So that on an inhale, we can press that length through the head. Exhale, melt the shoulders. It's just a wonderful posture to meet ourselves in to start. And then from here, we're going to do, hi Elizabeth, welcome in. We're going to do a short opening breath work. We're going to do Samavriti, which is same wave, also known as square breath. You might know it, but we're going to do it while holding a mudra. And mudras are these shapes that we make with our hands. And what is the point of them? Well, in yoga, it's believed that we can channel prana, which is also known as breath, which is also known as energy, through the body to specific areas in specific ways, depending on the mudra that we're holding. And the beautiful thing is, science has backed a lot of, as far as like the nerves that are being bent, right? And what is being stimulated in the body, even in the hands, affects the rest of us. So there is some weight here, definitely in modern Western science. But the cool part is that what we allow space for in our mind, what we are imagining is happening, will take place in the body to some degree. So the mudra that we'll learn with our hands this morning is called the Apana Vayu mudra. And it's actually a combination of two mudras, the Apana mudra, which is a fire and earth mudra. And we do this mudra by binding the middle finger and the ring finger together on each hand, and then planting the pads of those fingers against the thumb. I guess you'd be like rocking out a little bit. So here is the Apana mudra. And this mudra is, these fingers are earth and fire. And when we bring them together, it helps not only bring ease to the heart, right? That fire, but it also calms the nervous system, the earth element. And it's said that it invites tons of oxygen to saturate the bloodstream and an ease as it passes through the arteries, right? So beautiful. And then we're going to take on the earth element here, which we're going to find in our first finger. And the air element, excuse me, which we find in our first finger. And the air element is often responsible for our sense of awareness. And in this specific mudra, it'll be awareness of pain, of sensation in the body. So to calm that sensation of pain, to bring even more ease to the nervous system, we're going to take our first finger and we're going to curl it into the base of our thumb. And I'm going to get real close so that you can see. So here's my ring finger and my thumb pressed together. And then I'm going to take my pointer finger and curl it in towards the base of my thumb. And then the tip of my finger just kind of finds purchase there, right? And so here we are in the Apana Vayu mudra. And then on this hand, I'll curl that first finger in. Beautiful. What we do here is we rest the back of the palms atop the thighs in the Apana Vayu mudra and breathe deep into the body. Nice slow exhales. Maybe you just invite your mind's eye to experience those deep body breaths, filling the belly and the lungs. Nice cleansing exhales, just to bring looseness to the body, to the breath. Maybe we continue with each inhale, pressing a little height through the top of the head. And as always, every exhale, an opportunity to melt those shoulders if it feels right. And then from here, you might close your eyes and then find your natural breath once more. As you breathe here naturally, Focus on the sensation in the palms of your hands. The tip of your pointer finger gently curled in the base of the thumb. The ring and middle finger pressing against the pad of your thumb. That pinky finger extended long. With each breath into the body, you invite more sweet oxygen to permeate your bloodstream, to pour through you. Oxygen helps our cells heal, find energy, to do the work they were created to do. And so each breath in brings them new life. Each breath in brings new energy to those cells, sweet softness to the effort in your heart center, and an ease to physical pain. And then from here, you might practice Samavriti, or same wave breath, also known as square breathing. It works like this. On an inhale, you take that breath in for 4 seconds and then hold at the top for 4 seconds. Exhale for the count of 4 seconds. Hold for the count of 4 seconds before starting again. If you'd like to join me for that, we'll take a cleansing inhale now deep into the belly and the lungs. A nice big exhale through the mouth or nose. And then when you're ready, inhale to the 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3. Fill all the way. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2. Can you let out every drop? Hold. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Find your natural breath as you feel led, or continue those square breaths if it felt right. Square breathing is powerful to calm the nervous system and to refocus the mind. And so we invite the mind into the body to notice sensation, knowing that allowing the mind to notice the details keeps it focused, calm, and present. When you're ready, you might blink your eyes open, release the Apanavayu mudra from your hands, and if it feels right, maybe a soft fist, and then extending those fingertips. And then from here, we'll warm up the wrists, some wrist circles. We're going to do some nerve flossing, both of the radial and ulnar nerves in the arms. Go ahead and switch directions with those wrist circles. And the sciatic nerve that runs from the low back down the back of the legs to the feet. All right, from here, we're going to extend our arms out in front of us. We're going to take our left hand to our right fingertips and just gently invite those fingertips back towards the heart as you press the heel of your hand forward. So only as much as feels right in your body. We're stretching the muscles deep in the arms. This is going to help with our nerve floss. And then release that hand, switch directions. So the fingertips are now pointed down. And then gingerly, from the knuckles and not the fingertips, we're going to pull the knuckles towards the heart center as you press out through the wrist. Beautiful. From here, release, pointing the fingers straight in front. You're going to bring your thumb side like you want to poke your heart, but without bending your elbow, right? We're just warming up, lengthening the outside of the wrist here. And then we'll do the opposite. Can you pull the pinky back towards your shoulder without bending the elbow? We're getting into these deep muscles that are often never touched unless you go get a massage, right? Release. Let's do this with the opposite hand. Palm forward. We pull the fingertips back towards the body, pressing through the heel, breathing into the belly. Right? We don't want to shallow or hold our breath. We want to train our body while it's concentrating to invite that sweet oxygen always in. And then switch, lower those fingertips down towards the ground, find the tops of your knuckles, and then gently pull them in towards the body. If you hyperextend that elbow, you might take just a micro bend, a little gentle bend here. And then release, fingertips straight out in front of you. We're going to bend the thumb towards the heart center. Ooh, this wrist does not want to do it the same as the other one. And you might notice that. Maybe they feel the same. Maybe they feel totally different. And then when you're ready, press the pinky towards the shoulder. We tend to devalue little movements like this because we don't realize, all right, wrist circles one way real quick and then the other, what they're doing really for the whole of our body. All right, so nerve flossing in the ulnar nerve looks like this. So from thumb running all the way up your arm into the base of your skull is your ulnar nerve. And when we want to give it a good stretch, right, a floss, right, those nerves, unlike other parts of our body, like our organs are completely encased in fascia, but our nerves are this bundle of nerves that sort of run through the fascia, through the muscles, through the tissue in our body. And when those tissues are inflamed, when they're compressed, then so is the space that the nerve lives within. And when nerves are compressed like that, they tend to tingle, they tend to ache, they tend to grow numb. And so nerve flossing, just like flossing the teeth, is going to help pull that nerve bundle back and forth through your body, creating space for it. So it's going to bring a lot of relief. Now, before we start nerve flossing, I want to do a disclaimer. Sometimes we might have some pinched nerves where nerve flossing is not helpful, and you will know this by sharp pain. You will know this by when you stop the nerve floss, the sensation doesn't end. And so if you are experiencing that, take it low and slow. It isn't super common, but it does happen. So pay attention to your body. And if this doesn't work out, like holler at me. We'll find a way to make it work. To nerve floss the ulnar nerve, we're going to sweep our arms out by our side, palms down. When you're ready, we're going to turn our palms opposite direction. So the left palm turns up, the right palm turns down. And you might be thinking like maybe behind you, right? So we're twisting like a candy wrapper, and then we'll twist the opposite direction. Seems real simple, right? Twist back, and then twist once more. And we're just turning the whole of our arms in opposite directions. Once more, find neutral. We are going to get an even deeper floss by bringing our head into this equation. So flipping the left hand up, right palm down, we're going to turn our neck, our gaze towards the right. So whichever hand is technically twisted down, that's what draws our gaze. And then when we switch sides with the arms, we switch sides with the gaze, holding, breathing into the belly, checking in on the depth of your breath. And we just bring a sweet, loving reminder to the belly and the lungs to keep breathing. When you're ready, switch sides, hold and breathe. And switch. We'll do this about 6 more times on either side. Can you soften through the jaw and the tongue as you do this? Moving back and forth at a pace that feels good to you. Beautiful. When you're ready, lower the arms down by your sides. You might shake it out, right? It's a bit of an arm workout, not just a nerve floss. And then we're going to get into the radial nerve. So running from the pinky down the inside of the arm, up in through the armpit. is your radial nerve, or your radial nerve. Ooh, body parts. To get the radial nerve, you're going to find your fingertip, your pointer finger, and your thumb together. I'm going to make little goggles like you do when you're a kid. So it looks like this. We're going to press the pinky, the ring finger, and the middle finger gently up underneath the jaw as we bring the elbows skyward and we make these sweet little glasses. That's right. We're all going to look awesome. Breathe here. We're pressing those elbows skyward. But what's most important is that we're catching the pinky on the jaw as we do. And then release those hands, keeping this mudra, right? The thumb and the pointer finger pressed together. And then we're going to swing them back behind us, leading with the pinky. So it looks like this. Ew. And if we want to increase the stretch, you might gaze over one shoulder and come back to neutral, and then gaze over the other shoulder. Come back to neutral. Let's do that one more time. Gazing back towards that pinky and gazing back towards that pinky. Release. Come back up into your, I call them owl goggles. Come back up to your goggles. Beautiful. And maybe you just hang out right here. As long as those fingers are catching the chin and you're feeling the stretch from that pinky all along the arm, you're golden. So we'll hold and we'll breathe, maybe all the way up in our glasses, maybe just down here. And then release, bring it on back. Bring your gaze back to one pinky and then the other. One more time, either side. Beautiful. Wonderful. Let's do a few more wrist circles one way and then the other. We're just bringing ease. This can help with neck issues, right? This can help with carpal tunnel. Maybe your arms fall asleep at night. This can be really helpful for that. And then moving down and nerve flossing, this big sciatic nerve that hangs out in the larger part of our body down below. To do that, first, let's warm up the body with some seated cat-cow. First, let's warm up the body with some seated cat-cow, and you will see why here in a moment. So planting firmly the pads of your feet, scooting towards the edge of that chair if you've settled back into it, finding that posture by lengthening through the top of the head, exhaling, melting the shoulders. And then on an inhale, let the gaze rise, let the heart rise as the belly falls forward. Exhale. We're going to slowly bring our gaze down towards the floor as we press through the pads of our feet, curling our tailbone up towards the belly button. And you might hold here in this posture, continuing to press through the pads of your feet, lowering the top of your head down. This is going to be a really important part of our nerve floss for our sciatic nerve today. So letting the top of the head grow heavy here. You might feel this stretch all the way in the low back, maybe up in the shoulders. Just acknowledging that when we love on one part of our body, we're loving on many parts of our body. All right, moving with the breath once more. Inhale, rise up, belly comes forward, chin and heart lift. Exhale, curl that tailbone in, let the gaze drop down low. Back and forth, warming up the spine. Another breath or two as you'd like. And then on an exhale of your choice, find neutral. We're going to warm up the rib cage and the mid back just a little more by scraping the peanut butter jar. So we're going to draw circles, but we're going to do it with our chest. How do I do this, right? We're going to lead with our chest. So palms maybe atop the thighs. We're going to round the heart center forward and then round it back. Like we're drawing a big circle with our chest in whichever direction feels best to you, right? Wherever your body wants to start, and let it be a little intuitive. Maybe you're like, I don't know how to draw these circles, but this feels nice. Do it. If it feels nice in your body, this movement, then we are getting the benefit we are seeking. From wherever you are, roll to a stop and see if you can't switch directions, scraping that peanut butter jar in the opposite direction. Ooh, you can really press through the pads of your feet to help you move your pelvis here, right? Don't forget that we engage through the legs to help the torso so often. And then when you're ready, find a natural posture. We'll grab, if you've got a yoga strap, maybe you've got a winter scarf. There's no wrong way to do this. Maybe you choose sans strap. There is no requirement for a strap here. But to start our sciatic nerve floss, we're going to move into what we know. So dropping our strap down, we're going to step the ball of our foot, so the top half of our foot into that strap. And then we're going to lengthen it out in front of us. And if you've got hypermobile knees, keep that tiny bend. Holding either side of the strap, we're going to start pointing our toe, pressing the ball of our foot into that strap, and then relieve that pressure. Press through the heel, pull the ball of the foot back towards the heart. So back and forth, keeping that micro bend in the knees. The strap offers extra sensory feedback, and it also offers some extra resistance. So we're really getting in to that sciatic nerve. Now, there is no reason that you can't hang out here, either grabbing the leg, the thigh, or using the strength of your hip flexors to hold the foot while you do this. But a few more with the breath. Maybe you exhale to press the ball of the foot in. Maybe you inhale, bring the toes back towards the heart. Allowing the movement to be rich and full. And then drop that leg. Let's switch sides. Plant the ball of the foot. Extend it long. Keep that micro bend in the knee. And then exhale, press the ball of the foot in. Inhale, invite it back towards the heart as you press through the heel. Back and forth. So we're not only building muscle and strength here, but deeply flossing those nerves. And so this is just the beginning. Our next nerve floss for the sciatica is much more deep, and all of the work that we've done here builds up into it. A few more times at your own pace. I got a little hurried here with my movement and the breath. So I'm just going to take a moment to recenter. Find myself again in my body. And then when you're ready, drop that foot down low. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is most effective when you have space underneath your chair to swing your heel back into. But if you're in a couch and there's a hard surface here, that's all right. There's still a lot that you can do. From your seat, how can I show you this best? From your seat, we're going to extend, I'll face you for this. We're going to extend the right leg long out in front of us, pressing through the heel, flex the toes towards the heart, and you can keep it on down towards the floor. From here, as the toes press towards the heart, we're going to lean the head back. We're going to press through the top of the head, right? Finding all this length as we invite the chin up towards the sky. So we're stretching along the front of the throat as we flex the toes back towards the body. On a deep inhale, fill the belly and the heart. As you exhale, bend the knee, plant the heel, rise back up to neutral with the neck. All right, so that is one direction. We lift and gaze back. Now the leg will swing the opposite direction. So as you invite the heel of this right foot up underneath you, as you swing it back in towards the chair, just like this. So we were extended long. Now we bend the knee and swing it in. And as it comes forward, I'm going to come up onto my toe. I'm going to point my toe. And then I'm going to lean forward, curling the spine, dropping the head down low. So inhale, press through the heel, flex the toes towards the heart as you lengthen the leg, pressing the toes, pressing the head back. And then on an exhale, swing that knee forward, curl the spine. And then move with the breath. Inhale, sweep the leg out and the head back. Exhale, sweep that knee in, curl forward. And you can press down through the toes of this left foot to support the body as you really curl the spine forward. So it's that curling forward that's going to pull the muscles and stretch this space on this back right hip here. This is also a wonderful move for your SI joint. Moving with the breath or finding stillness in any sticky spot. And then on an inhale of your choice, let's switch sides. Lengthening that left leg out, flexing the toes towards the heart as we send the heart and the head back. Exhale, sweep it in, curl the spine. Sending that sciatic nerve deeply back and forth. And the beauty of what we're doing here is that this is beneficial not just for that big sciatic bundle. This is beneficial for every nerve traveling from the base of the toes all the way up the spinal cord to the base of your skull. Beautiful. Another breath or two, if that feels good. And then find neutral when you're ready. Beautiful. Just to give some love to the hips and to really center ourselves with a challenge this morning, let's do seated tree. So from here, seated tree looks like this. You might extend the legs long, keeping the pads of the feet planted. You tend to hyperextend the knees. We want to keep that gentle bend. And then we'll start with the left leg. We're going to bend the knee up towards the body. We're going to send it on out towards the side. And then you might invite the pad of that foot either above or below your knee. Whatever feels good. And then from here, as you find that anchor, you might once more just invite that inner left thigh on over towards the left. Now you might, when you're ready, bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra here, remaining upright. But if you would like to bring this balance challenge from the lower body on up into the upper body as well. Wow, words are hard for me today. We're going to lean back. We're going to send our heart center back. We're going to keep our neck in alignment with our spine as we lean back. And maybe we lean back so far that this is like Tetris. If you were to upright us, we would be standing in tree pose. And you'll notice as you practice this tree pose, the whole of the front body engages here as you lean, right? Floating, breathing into the belly with that challenge all the same. Maybe you feel the body shake. Let it. Shaking in the body when we're engaging these muscles, if it's not painful, this is energy being released from the body. So we invite the shake. There is no shame here. It is not weakness. It's just stored energy that's finding movement and release. When you're ready, rise upright, release the pad of that left foot, extend it out long. You might give your legs a shake here. Maybe you come up onto the heels and give them a shake, which is going to help create some ease for the knees. And then switching sides, planting the pads of both feet. We're going to bend that right knee up, sending it out towards the side, and then planting the pad of that foot. Softening that inner right thigh as much as feels good. And then palms towards the heart center. Maybe you start that lean back into tree. Breathing deep, acknowledging the body's desire to hold the breath to create stability, but inviting that breath in anyway. Relaxing the jaw, letting the tongue float. We bring the effort here alone. So often when we're doing hard things, we tend to clench everywhere, right? Especially those areas of our body that hold stored trauma. So when we're doing hard things, we clench the jaw, we tense the shoulders, we tense the hips. When so often the answer is the opposite. When you're ready, we rise up, release that knee. Let's come into our final Shavasana. So shake those legs out if it feels good. And then we'll take a minute in our corpse pose, in our Shavasana, by scooting all the way back in our chair, by letting our spine rest fully against its support. If you've got a pillow behind your head or a wall, enjoy it. If you don't, you might gently tuck the chin, sending the weight of the head forward. But we're looking to find ease, palms on the lap or down by our sides, doesn't matter. As long as there's no effort there, as long as it brings ease and comfort. One last time, we let go of any tension in the chest, the shoulders, the face, even all the way up into the scalp. Each deep breath into the body, an opportunity to collect any wild energy, and then release it on that exhale. With each inhale, you search out those restless parts in your hips and thighs that clench, in your calves and toes that tense. Every inhale collects that excess energy, and each exhale sends it far from you. We want energy to flow freely through us, nothing stuck, nothing hindered. Oftentimes we feel like we need to keep energy within us because we're so exhausted, but it's this act of holding it in that exhausts us. So we let it go, trusting on this infinite supply from the universe to pour through us as we continue to release it just as quickly. Finding our flow, finding our connection, not just here in the chair or on the mat, but everywhere, in every aspect of who we are, in every moment of the day, inviting that energy in and releasing it, trusting we will always have what we need. From wherever you are, you might begin to reawaken the body by curling the toes or the fingers and then releasing. Maybe you invite that movement up into the ankles and the wrists, the arms and the legs. A little intuitive awakening. Whatever feels good this morning, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you and your body. And then we'll end our practice today, if you would like, with hands at the heart center in Anjali Mudra. You might take a deep breath in and feel the chest rise to meet the thumbs. As you exhale, maybe you're tempted to take a gentle bow in the head. Thank yourself for showing up. Might seem silly, but this is powerful work that takes time and repetition. And no one can do this for you but you. And I am so excited that we get to practice this together. So thank you for spending time with me. The light and the dark in me sees the light and the dark in you, and we are the same. All right, y'all.